Welcome to a quick overview of ROV CMOL, Credit Market Operational Liquidity and Asset Liability Modeling Risk Software. That's very specific to solving Basel II and Basel III applications of credit market operational risk requirements. To get started, double-click on the desktop icon that says ROV ALM Credit Market Risk, and what you will see is this user interface. And in the user interface, you have multi-level tabs. In this case, we have credit market risk, asset liability management, analytical models, and operational risk. Now, for instance, if you go to credit risk, you will have the ability to set up global settings, results, market risk, and you can see value at risk, central bank, value at risk, results visual, which are charts, asset liability management, interest, liquidity risk, analytical models, which includes credit, EAD, LGD, PD, which stands for exposure at default, loss given default, and probability default, as well as volatility measures. And finally, operational risk, which includes the BIA, TSA, all the way to the AMA methodologies. The basic indicator approach, the standardized approach, alternate standard approach, revised standard approach, and the advanced management applications and modeling. So to get started, typically what you would do is click on the top right corner, which lists the menu items. So you can start new to create a brand new model from scratch, open an existing model as usual, create a report once you're done running all your models. You can change languages. There are 11 languages involved in the software, all the way from, say, English to Spanish. For instance, if you click on Spanish, click language, and you will see all this information in Spanish. In our example, we will stick to the English version, and so we can actually illustrate some of the methodologies and overview of the software application. To get started, the best way is to click on the menu item and also go to Load Examples. When you click on Load Examples, what happens is a default set of examples will be loaded, which includes the inputs, settings, and also a sample set of results. So after I click on Load Example, now you can actually see that the numbers and the dials and so forth have been loaded. I can click on, for instance, results, and you see the sample set of results for credit risk. Market risk, you can see the value at risk, central bank VARs, result visuals, asset liability management on interest rate, liquidity risk input assumptions, as well as the sensitivity calculations, some gap analysis, economic value of equity, net income margins, stress testing, scenario analysis, and so forth, all the way to analytical models, some sample sets of EADs, exposure default, credit conversion factors, probability default, and so forth, as well as operational risk, and something that we'll go into in additional follow-up videos. One thing that might be of interest as well is if you click on the menu item and go to Help, you will get access to the user manual. If you go to Extras, extras will be consistently added in terms of white papers, overviews, brochures, applications, technical papers, and so forth. And these will be installed, and the sample set of videos as well will be installed as part of the software application. And finally, please remember to do a save or a save as when you're done with the modeling. So for example, if I save this as my file as an example to the desktop, what you will see is a myfile.rov CML, credit market liability risk model. And so what happens is everything that is saved in all of these tabs, so all the inputs, all the example data, applications, results, charts, settings, and so forth, will all be saved in a single unified file. And that file is automatically encrypted. So for example, if I start Notepad or Microsoft Word or any of the XML readers, I can take this file, drag it into the reader, and notice that everything is encrypted. So in other words, if you happen to accidentally lose your data file and someone actually hacks into your computer, accesses that file, they will not be able to open or read the information that's on there. So your banking data, your banking information, your private confidential data would be all saved. You can also add an additional layer of encryption by clicking on Encrypt Data File and put an additional password access to it as well. All this allows you to, encrypt the data. And finally, of course, your save and open profile, which means your save and open functions here under the menu are also accessible here as simple icons. In every single tab, when you access each of these tabs, typically you start from level 1 tab, you go from left to right, and when you're done going from left to right, you would drill into the secondary tabs or the tertiary tabs, or level 3 tabs in this case, to access all the functionalities. And in each of these tabs, you can save multiple models, and these multiple models include different settings, different data sets, and so forth. You can save as many models as you wish in each of these tabs. But just remember, when you're done, to click on File Save or this menu Save to save the global file itself.